Yeah. Whoa, no, Teru's hair! No! And there is a psychological suffering and impact, detrimentally so, when we uphold our cognitive dissonance for too long. Because that's emotional incongruences, right? We know we're not being true to our beliefs with our actions. Hello, friends. Welcome back. Oof, we are approaching the final 2 episodes and this final arc, packed with non-stop action sequences, dramatic fight scenes, without overshadowing the importance, emotional, and psychological undertone. Here we go. Assassination Zero, Helix Seed, and Jin Ichimaru are the founding sponsors here, supporters since day one. Shout out to every single one of you guys, all the patron folks and YouTube family out there. Thank you. Sit back, and I hope you enjoy. All right, what do we got today? Professional Froster Reagan is back. It's been a minute, and I'm guessing this is a foreshadowing that somehow, without Reagan's psychic power, he's going to play like an instrumental role, and he will intervene and somehow save Mob, Teru, and the squad. That's my guess. Because, you know, as many folks pointed out, yes, Reagan is a fraud, but he's a professional fraud. He does it with just professionalism, this blasé attitude, yet he always delivers. He always delivers. He's a man's man. So I'm very excited to see what sort of a role Reagan gets to play in today's episode. Even in his monologue, he's like, man, you could have told me you're interfering with my business plan, my profitability. Because of you or the absence of you, I wasn't able to do some certain exorcism. Why did I give you a cell phone? Even in his monologue, it's very self-centered. It's all about profit, profit, profit. But underneath that, we do know that Reagan cares, and he does fulfill that role, the ambiguous emotional attachment role that I talked about since the get-go. So again, Reagan is still true to his character in the profile setup, yet none of us can deny his instrumental role in Mob's life in many ways. Reagan, let's make sure your salt has been blessed, right? Don't use an ordinary store-bought salt. I'm sure he's learned his lesson, has upgraded one of his super techniques, salt punch or salt spray. My favorite is the Photoshop exorcism. Okay, a flashback. Mob and Ritsu when they're younger. Can we talk about how Mob looks the same with his bland look? Ritsu looks younger, but Mob looks the same. But he's obviously shorter. I'm dead, yo. Ritsu is not just Mob's Achilles heel, as I talked about. Ritsu is not just the main reason that Mob can freely exercise his psychic ability to hit that 100% without losing control. Because he's not losing control, and he's not experiencing psychic explosion because of sadness or anger, but here, because of his desire to save and defend his only little brother. So this is voluntary, and that's why he's not experiencing this emotional suppression nor psychic explosion. At the same time, as this memory recall signifies that just like Mob has been that role model and the big brother that Ritsu looked up to and the source of his inferiority complex and that envy. But here, Ritsu is also Mob's anchor, in addition to being his Achilles heel. It's both. That's what family is. It's bi-directional, right? It's not like only a big brother has a significance for a little brother. Little brother has a significance for big brother and vice versa. So I'm sure here, Ritsu is like, hey, don't apologize. Let's just focus on solution. What can we do? What can we control in this moment? They really complement each other really, really well. Such an amazing brotherly dynamic.
そうだ。リツ、理科の授業で習っ。苔は日当たりの悪い場所に生えるからね。ほら、こっちが北だよ。
Whoa, is that true? Is that scientifically accurate? That's cool.
北に歩けば川に出るから。
Follow
さっき
water.
バーベキューした場所まで戻れるよ。
Obviously, this is a generalized blanket advice, but generally speaking, if you're lost in nature, usually what the pros, like the pro tip is you follow water. You always follow where the water is, right? It's not just about food and shelter and water, but that's usually the best way for safety route. And again, of course, every landscape varies. Here, that's what Ritsu is saying. Mob is back. Whoa.
気がついたようだね。
全く覚えてない。兄さん、頭が痛いの。
Wait, Ritsu and Teru are unscathed. So I guess the orange hair guy, the mysterious dude, who I suspect, I don't know if he's like the boss or related to the boss because he has no scars, the orange hair guy. Yet it's clear that he's more powerful than all the Scars members, which is the elite force within Claw. So I'm very curious about the mysterious identity of the orange hair guy. But sounds like, yeah, he lost the fight, but nothing happened. And everyone else was left unscathed. Very interesting.
大丈夫かな。脳にダメージとか。リツ。
Wait, Ritsu was passed out first.
無事でよかった。
Oh.
無事だね。
Oh. Speaking of anger.
どうなっているのか。この部屋では力が発揮できないんだよ。
Oh, so they all lost and then now they're in prisons. And I'm guessing the pattern on the floor, since they showed us this bird's eye view, is the nullifier. So I'm sure this room is filled with the nullifying superpower or that powder or that spray that nullifies their power. That makes sense.
いつもだったらこんな壁、穴開けられ。
本当だ。でも大丈夫だよ。リツが一緒にいるんだから。
Aw. Just like the memory recall.
リツは頭がいいんだ。超能力がないと何もできない僕。
Oh.
解決できるんだよ。
Unlike me, who can't do anything without psychic power, obviously that is the whole self-judgment and all that narrative and the thesis throughout this series, where Mob wants to define or rather redefine himself and who he is and his sense of self without the attachment to psychic power. And underneath that though, it is a lot of self-loathing. Mob is like, I'm useless without my psychic power. But don't fret. Here's my little brother, Ritsu, who is one of the smartest students in the nation. And unlike me, who is useless without my psychic power, he was able to rescue us when they were lost in the forest. He's able to navigate and maneuver the complexity of this world filled with uncertainty without psychic power. He's so much more useful than I am. My heart breaks for Mob. Although on the surface, this is a compliment, which it is. But underneath that, it is tremendous lack of self-compassion, self-loathing, self-hatred, self-blame. And again, when we say self-love, 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 that sounds great. Who doesn't want to love themselves? Not in a self-indulgent, selfish, self-centered way, but just to love all of ourselves, appreciate all of ourselves. And sure, for many of us, maybe self-compassion or self-love is unachievable yet, which doesn't mean never. It just means not right now, based on the circumstances, unhealed trauma, and anything between. But maybe a good place to start is at least first accept ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because how can we be compassionate towards ourselves? How can we extend grace towards ourselves and eventually to learn to love ourselves if we do not even accept ourselves? It's like gratitude. We can't feel grateful. We cannot uphold this emotion that we call gratitude, which has so many psychological and emotional benefits. And it's tremendously beneficial for well-being. We cannot feel grateful until we fully accept our circumstances and what we have within our circumstances. Once we accept the circumstances, then we can appreciate the circumstances and what we have. Does that make sense? Self-compassion and self-love is the same thing. We can only do that if we first accept it. So for Mob and for anyone that's watching, if you relate with Mob in any way, I just want to encourage and I pray sincerely from the bottom of my heart that I hope you can first learn to accept the good, which is easy, but it's the bad and the ugly. And then slowly we can move towards working on ourselves, getting better, healing, and eventually one day I trust and I hope that we can all arrive at the promised lands of self-grace, self-compassion.
影山くんが頼るほどの。
尊敬だよ本当に。
Oh, I admire him. Admiration. Admiring is a stronger, higher position than just proud. I admire him. Because, oh, I'm proud of him. That implies power hierarchy, power dynamic. I'm proud of him, which implies I'm better, and I'm proud that he did good. He met or exceeded my expectations, which is nice, right? It's not a negative thing. But when I say I respect him, or rather here, I admire him, that means there is no power hierarchy, and I look up to that person tremendously. And Mob is literally saying I admire him immensely. Enough said. And of course, Ritsu is crying because he's so touched. He's seen, he's acknowledged, he's recognized. And I'm sure this will help dissipate and finally melt away all of Ritsu's invisible envy and inferiority complex and this comparison syndrome he's been struggling, which led to him falling to the dark side before Mob's unconditional love rescued him. I hope Ritsu is feeling this way that, oh, wow, what am I feeling envy for? What am I feeling inferior for? What am I feeling down in this feeling of irredeemable feeling for? Wow, my big brother Mob admires me immensely. Wow, our psychic power or lack thereof truly does not define us. It's the love that defines us. Amazing. What an episode.
ずるい謝ら僕だって
Oh, Ritsu's back. The darkness in his pupils are fully gone. He's fully back. And try Ritsu, take that. Life's not fair. You will forever be under the shadow of Mob's boundless compassion and boundless love and acceptance of you. Because he's your big brother and he loves you more than he loves himself. Take that, Ritsu. Boom.
桜井くんの封印部屋は相変わらず素晴らしいね。
当然だ。それよりこれからどうする？今回の侵入者を新たな幹部として起用するのか？
Where did the orange hair guy go? Yeah, because he's not part of this upper echelon meeting.
気が早いよ。まずは念入りな洗脳が先。
ちょいちょい待てよおめえ
Oh,
ら。
there he is.
逸材をガラクタにする気かよ。あの中学生グループはまとめて本部に引き抜く。
鈴木くんだ。
Oh, Suzuki must be like a envoy or ambassador coming from the HQ as the representative. That makes sense. And I'm guessing that means HQ is much more powerful than the 7th or any divisions. That makes sense, right? HQ and satellite. Suzuki.
人員の編成も含めて。
あの学ラン
Oh,
来たぜ。
oh, divisions among them. Divide and conquer, art of war.
いいダチになれる。
派遣研修生がでかい面するな。
倒されて悔しいから。
おう
ずいぶん仲良し組だったんだな。はこのが居心地いいんだぜ。
近頃のガキはどいつもこいつも。
Also, what is Sakurai's power? Because he can control his sword at will, but he also has that nullifying power, which is his actual psychic ability. Interesting.
おい、何者だ、貴様。あんのようだ。
Also, I'm sad that the division, the infighting didn't happen as I suspected or hoped for. But underneath that, there is an important psychological concept that I've been talked about last episode. When you rule through fear, when you gain power and dominance through control and fear, it's not sustainable. It is not real. It's superficial. That's why the division leader is like, I call all the shots here. Mad power tripping. That was perfect display of people power tripping for power struggle. And that happens because there's no relationship. It's all because of ruling through fear. And when there's no relationship, the hierarchy, the structure, the system will fall apart as soon as someone else is more powerful comes along. Right? That's what makes it superficial.
おい、何の話？
You suspicious jerk. It's because Reagan is so nonchalant. He's so chill, so unfazed. In the middle of the night, with this big ass full moon in the sky, in this abandoned area, he just walked right in. Like, hey, is this a shopping mall? Can I get some stuff? It's like, no, what? That's why they're calling all the people, because he's too chill. That means two possibilities. A, this guy's either delusional or he is confident. And you can only be confident in this suspicious way when you're very, very powerful. Or when you're delusional, well, there's no point of talking logic then. So regardless, all these guards and these normies, using their words, are calling up the higher ups and all that. That makes sense. But Reagan's aura is so strong. I love it. That's his psychic power. That is Reagan's superpower. Now that I think about it, it's his aura.
おお、そうだったな。
Business card. He's
そんなこと
networking.
よりなあ君たち、中で何か事件が起きているのか？
夜だ。得体の知れない奴に教えることは何もない。
それってどういう？
まさか。
Ah, here comes the fraud and the conning. Yo, let's see. I'm very excited to win this. Reagan's finesse. Aura farming finesse.
なあ、担当直入に聞くが、君ら超能力使える？
態度もやたら偉そう。
Oh, from the HQ?
話せよ。俺は部下に仕事の話があってきただけだ。
They think he's from the HQ.
部長だけはボスの直属の部下。ってことは。殺される。
Wait, they think Reagan is the boss? I was like, he's obviously pretending to be like, again, another envoy or ambassador from the HQ, but I guess all their imaginations are running wild, right? Because this reminds me of a classic mental health adage. We often suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Think about the amount of times we've felt stressed out, anxious, anxiety running rampant, because of anticipatory stress. Definition right here. Anticipatory stress, just a fancy word for we feel stressed out in anticipation of something that hasn't happened yet. This is the perfect demonstration of that. Especially this guy on screen and everyone else. Like, oh, stop it. Could it be? All their anxiety is anticipatory stress. They're stressed out in anticipation of who is this guy? Subordinates. He acts pretty important. Oh my gosh, I was so rude. I'm going to get killed. Brilliant psychological tactic and strategy by Reagan, our favorite professional froster. His aura continues.
なんだ、具合悪いのか？おい、運んでやれ。休憩室くらいあるだろ。
Make way.
で、来るのは来月になると言っていたのに。
ん？
This is hilarious.
はい。
あなたがボスなんですか？
いや、そんな大したものじゃないんだが。
Yo. Oh. Right now, this is a demonstration of confirmation bias. Definition right here. It's a bias that we have when we already have some sort of a preconceived notion or belief. Our minds and our psyche subconsciously and unknowingly look for the context to fit what we already believe. So the confirmation bias is that, of course, you're the boss. Oh, don't undersell yourself. Wow, the real deal doesn't brag to children. So all of this is just to confirm what they already believe in, that he's the boss.
少しは話が通じそうだな。僕
らそんなことしてたのか？
いやだってボスの指示で。
人のせいかよ。
すいません。
そもそも誰かに指図。
俺たちはボスを信じて。
お前らそんなんでトップに立ったところで自分たちが踏み荒らしてきた汚い景色しか残らないぞ。
Oof. Bars.
いいんだろうが反省して改めろ。
確かに
俺た
一気に形勢が変わった。
Is this whole episode is to spotlight Reagan and his aura? I mean, that was a foreshadowing since the get-go, but oh my god, this is amazing. A normie, using their term, like Reagan, is able to force upon his aura and preach to all these people who've been brainwashed. Let that sink in. Reagan's aura and finessing as a professional froster is able to override the power of this embedded brainwashing by Muto and other SCARS members. That is bonkers. That is wild. What? Yo, our US government, CIA, and all the national intelligence services need to recruit Reagan. The guy is a superhuman. Unreal.
何かないかな、リツ。今は下手に動かない。
Dude, Reagan's just gonna walk right in with the escort of everyone else and just open this door and let them out. Wild.
奴ら
I
は
love
必
this.
ず様子を見に来るはず。それまでは体力を温存しておこう。
そうだな。力が戻った瞬間が勝負だ。
Will be the decisive moment. What do you think Reagan's gonna say, and Ritsu's, and Teru's? I think they all recognize who Reagan is when they see Reagan walks through the door with his entire entourage of converted disciples behind Reagan. Let's
弟
go.
君、君も戦力に数えていいんだよね。
兄さんたちを巻き込んだ僕が悪いんだ。少しは頑張りますよ。大丈夫かな。
おいおい、僕なんか焼き殺されかけたよ。ま、君一人が全力さえ出してくれれば、僕。
How did the real mystery and the only loophole in the series so far, especially during this arc, is how did Teru prevent his hair from getting burnt? For real.
二人は戦わなくてもいいんだけどね。来たか。
Reagan.
また大人数でゾロゾロと。
Oh, Master Reagan is here.
よーモブ、お前こんなところで何やってんだよ。お、
Oh, Teru doesn't know him?
なんで師匠がここに。
彼は友達か？影山君の師匠。しかも爪のブス。でもチャンスだ。
You see that? Confirmation bias. When there's an established narrative and norm, a lot of people don't question it. That's what's happening. Such an astute display of confirmation bias, how our human minds operate, the power of authority, and all that. Fascinating. Also, another fun fact, I don't know if you guys have heard of the famous scientific experiment called the Stanford, a prison experiment. The original author and the creator of the Stanford prison experiment won a bunch of recognitions, like pretty much every award possible, etc., etc. So basically what the prison experiment was that they said that people, like the prison guards, based on the Nazi Auschwitz camp and all that during World War II, as they are being placed in the positions of power, that power corrupts them and they change, and they'll become more and more cruel, right? More and more brutal, etc., etc. So the point of the Stanford prison experiments, because this was conducted on Stanford campus based on volunteers and signups, and obviously incentives like stipend, was that even ordinary students like Stanford students will get corrupted based on this prison experiments, and they're going to get power hunger and power tripping and become more cruel with other prisoners who are also enacted by other Stanford students. That was a study. And they published the whole of that, and it was like a worldwide whirlwind and recognition. But later on, here's a plot twist. Just like Reagan being the biggest plot twist of this episode, the plot twist is that Stanford prison experiment was proven wrong. It was false. the freaking author, the well-respected psychologist, was a fraud. He fabricated results. The study did not work. The prison guards, again, enacted by the Stanford students, did not become more cruel, did not become more brutal, did not get power trip. If anything, when the prisoners, again, also by other students, were asking for water, break, and so on, they allowed it. So the entire thing was fabricated in terms of the results and outcome. Isn't that wild? But the point of that study was trying to figure out, can someone change over time based on being placed in a position of authority? Sure, the study was disproven. But the point is, and the point of this scene, is that a lot of people have this natural respect, and we tend to follow the orders of those who are perceived as authoritative or people in positions of power. That's what this is showing, in addition to confirmation bias. Anyway, I encourage you guys to look up the Stanford prison experiments. Although the study was disproven, the concept is still pretty fascinating and interesting to think about.
ここに閉じ込められているんです。僕たちを解放してください。
なんで閉じ込めてんだからさ、お前らな、それ犯罪。
助かったのか。
ボス、どちらへ？
だから帰るんだって。
せめて石黒支部長が来るまで。
Ah, the division leaders and them are coming. Here they are. Ah, what an encounter.
君誰？
He's not the boss.
じゃないわね。
先に名乗れよ、犯罪集団。最大の霊能力者、霊源新様だ。よくチェックしとけ。
Look me up, but I love the overconfidence there.
我々のボスなんじゃ。
語るといえど。
Let's go, mob.
このチビ、てめえなんか少林寺拳法緑帯の俺様がちょちょいのちょ。
You're a spirit specialist.
ほど優秀な手駒を揃えている。数によっては爪に対抗しうる。
支部長！角度だと俺たち。
お前ら部屋に隠れてろ。ビッグになるならこんなところで死んでられないだろう。ブラック組織依存から解放さ。
Wow, Reagan.
行け。
Wow. Yo, they didn't even have enough time to process they were lied to. Or actually, no, Reagan never lied. He never said he's the boss. These were all confirmation bias from them, right? But they didn't even have time to process, like, wait, we were wrong. Wait, what's happening? And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for saving our lives. Again, Reagan may be a professional froster, just like I'm a professional yapper. But Reagan has integrity and dignity, and he has a kind heart, right? And that's what they're feeling. I'm dead. This is so unexpected. Nothing this episode happened so far is what I expected based on how last episode went. Just such a switch of pace. This speaks to the wonderful writing and the wonderful direction of the series. Love it.
つうか、俺も行くけど。
逃がさないよ。
モブ以外の超能力者なんてマジでいたのかよ。僕とは比べ物にならない出力だ。
Y'all got mob, don't
僕
worry.
でも難しいな。となると。
Mob, let's
影山
go.
君。
Let's go, Mob. Yes, sir. Such a teamwork. Reagan rescued him, and now Mob's gonna shine. Speaking of perfect complementary, here they are. Like master, like students. Let's go, Mob. You're the true MC, baby.
うん、あの子は強いね。私がやるよ。
But it's 1 versus
多分
4.
まだ。君は私に近づけます。
I'm guessing Division 7 leader's power is gravity. That's how she sounds like a she. Falling off the ceiling, right? Sounds like the power is gravity related.
ベースより。
兄さん、
重力を操るのか。
Let's go, mob.
師匠。
私の力にと
Wow. Reagan's like, what are you doing? This is the true undertone of this scene. What is the one word to describe Reagan? Overconfidence. Maybe delusion, but confidence. And what is Reagan's ability to see the best in someone, including himself, because of his low-key narcissistic trait, right? In a very benign way. That's what Reagan's saying, that mob, what are you doing kneeling down? Believe in yourself, fully untap your potential, go full throttle and go all out. You're better than this, mob. That's what Reagan is not saying, but saying when he said, mob, what are you doing? Believe in yourself, have some confidence. You're better than this. In that sense, Reagan is truly a great teacher, great mentor, great master. Because one of the biggest roles that a mentor does, because I have a lot of mentees of my own, is to see and believe in someone's potential more than even they do. To see the potentials in someone that they may not see it yet because of the limiting circumstances. In that sense, Reagan, you're a wonderful sensei. Much respect. What? Wait, how many special moves does Reagan have? I feel like his arsenal just keeps on expanding. Anti-ESP dropkick.
超能力で争う気か。危なくて人に向けるもんじゃねえって話したよな。
Oh, that's what Reagan
破る
meant.
のか。そんなルールを決めてたのか。
僕を助けるために仕方なかった。
Yo, Reagan, let's go. I love this Reagan spotlight.
こいつは人との対立が大の苦手なんだよ。
Oh, Reagan's like, that must have been hard. Reagan's empathy, his understanding, his compassion really shine through. But my real question is, what is the rest of the SCARS members just standing in the background when the division leader got kicked in the face?
ましてや、お前らみたいな大人がな、こんな武器
Aww.
でな。
Oh.
弟子に余計なストレス溜めさせんじゃねえよ。
That confidence.
飛び蹴りはいいのか。だが、お前らが聞く耳を持たぬというのなら勝負してやる。ただし、一時
As
まず
peaceful
は
as
小手調
possible.
べだ。見せてやるよ。俺の催眠術。この五円玉。
Reagan's using his chicken scratch hypnosis against Muto, the hypnotic ESPer. What an ironic and comedic writing, but so wonderful.
見るがいい。
くだらん。おかしい。
師匠の実力。
Again, Reagan's overconfidence in his aura is so strong that actually powerful ESPers, they're like, something is wrong. I don't sense anything. Again, confirmation bias, right? They're like, hold up. Someone like Reagan, this level of confidence, he can't just be a normie. He can't just be delusional because he's very sound with his logic. So again, their confirmation bias, this is an involuntary, subconscious thing. They're like, okay, that must mean he's not delusional and he's really confident, which implies he's very, very, very powerful, which is what I said earlier when Reagan was at the entrance. You see that? The power of our minds?
能力者だったのか。もしハッタリなら危険だ。
相手をいきなり殴る。
Yeah.
人間の
普通に殴った。全然特殊能力じゃなかった。
お前らな。
Yo.
この剣はプラスチック製のおもちゃだ。
Wait, what?
長年台頭し呪いをかけ続けることによって威力を持つようになった。
Wow,
いやいや
respect.
待て。 あのな。
俺は自由自在に幽体離脱をし、さらにそれを分身させることができる。
Respect? Okay.
おいおい。
重力に引っ張られてバラバラになるといいよ。
My prediction is that remember Mob's harnessing of his power not to hurt but to defend and save. I think this is gonna manifest again and Mob's gonna hit 100%. This time is to defend and save everyone, including Reagan, who is fighting on their behalf. Love is the most powerful force. I think here this battle is to portray that.
レイゲンの辛酸は外れた。
一発だった失策
レイゲンには言説で論破する自信があった。どんな相手でも
Arguments.
中学生相手にムキになって襲いかかるこの輩どもは世界征服とか本気で主張しちゃっているこの連中は大人になれなかった子供だ。
Are children who fail to grow up. Wow. Reagan is low-key like a back-end psychologist. He understands human nature, human behavior really, really well. That's why he's a professional frosser, right? Because to con someone, you have to understand human psychology and human behavior. He is absolutely correct. I didn't even think about that part. You're right. Scars and Claw members, they're not adults. They're grown man-child. It's true. They're emotionally stunted. Emotionally stunted. They're just drunk on their power. And when you can rely on power, why work on yourself? Why invest in emotional development, personal growth, and personal betterment? The answer is you don't. And Teru was a microcosm of that until his course was corrected by Mob. And Scars and Division Leader and Claw, they are like people like Teru, except they didn't meet Mob during their journey. And now they became this emotionally stunted people who are drunk on their powers, who are solely defined by their powers and nothing else. So in that sense, Teru, you're extremely lucky. But fear not. They may not have met Mob when they were younger, but they're meeting with Mob now and his sensei.
でそうなった答えはわかる。モブ逃げるぞ
Let's go, Mob. Like a black hole. Salt!
やりすぎたかな。
Hey, at least the kids escaped. Shout out to Reagan. Damn. Okay. All right. Division leader is OP. She is very powerful. Respect. Let's go, Mob. Whoa. Whoa. Dang. Yo. Peak action sequence. Oh my goodness. Let's go, Teru. Whoa. Whoa. No, Teru's hair. No. The biggest victim here is Teru's hair. Oh my gosh. Nice move.
その方がいいぞ。
You look better that way.
悪霊だったら除霊できそうなもんだが除霊除霊できたな
Mob.
私の最
ここは一旦
Let's go, Mob.
やめ反撃はするなここは大人の俺が何とかするからモブはあいつらと同じ土俵に立つ必要ねえぞ
So right now Mob is struggling with the dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, definition right here. Cognitive dissonance is the distance and the gap and incongruences between our beliefs and our action. Mob is caught in between the moral principle that Reagan instilled in him, rightfully so, and the actual dire circumstances of his people getting hurt. So what do? And the only way to address our cognitive dissonance is either modify our beliefs to match our actions or vice versa. To modify our actions to match our beliefs. That's the only way. And there is a psychological suffering and impact, detrimentally so, when we uphold our cognitive dissonance for too long. Because that's emotional incongruences. Right? We know we're not being true to our beliefs with our actions. You see, that's the emotional suppression. Because now he's struggling with this cognitive dissonance. And that's taking an emotional toll.
そうだね
Oh man. Yeah, true. Oh, Ritsu's hurt. Oh boy.
領域だ
律花沢君レーゲン師匠みんなを死なすわけにはいかない
The only one comment I'll make about Ritsu, or not Ritsu, Reagan is like, I see 100% where he's coming from. You don't want to scoop to their level. That means you're also being corrupted. I 100% I agree. At the same time, it's too idealistic. It's too naive. Sometimes the realities cannot be solved. Problems cannot be fixed through idealism, especially moral idealism, which is what Reagan's demonstrating also, moral idealism, right? Sometimes, I mean, again, this is hard. It really is hard, right? Because if we bend our moral principle, if we compromise being morally grounded as a person one time, that means we will do it again for the second time. That means we're more prone to do it for the third time. And to what ends is the question, and that's what Reagan is saying. To what ends? Let's just run away. But the circumstances right now, it's really hard to do that. Because you have 3 or 4 very powerful ESPer with murderous intent for the sole goal to kill you. You think they're just going to let you run away? Maybe they could try, right? And Mob is caught in the middle. But this is also part of his personal growth and his journey. We have to really be honest with ourselves and learn about ourselves. What are our non-negotiables? What are the areas of our lives we're willing to compromise? What are the areas we don't want to compromise? And only way to figure out ourselves and our limits and our boundaries are experimentations and to experience different things in life. And that's what this episode and this fight scene encompasses.
僕が本気で戦うしかないんだ
Oh, here's Mob. Oh, isn't this the question mark? Long time no see. Question mark, Mob.
たとえ相手がどうなったってやめとけモブお前が
As soon as he was about to unlock this new state, murderous intent, aka truly falling to the dark side, freaking Reagan just literally knocks senses into Mob. During this transformative state, in the midst, on the cusp, on the brink of full activation or awakening, Reagan's like, boom, don't do it, Mob. You're the one who's going to suffer in the end. This is Reagan's superpower. It's unbelievable. And this shows that Reagan has tremendous love and tremendous care for Mob. Truly. Because this means Reagan is willing to risk everyone's lives because he knows even if they survive because of Mob's sacrifice by falling to the dark side, that guilt, that shame, that self-hatred, which is already the ongoing emotional struggle and psychological suffering that Mob's been dealing with since the accidents when they're younger. Reagan knows the cost is not worth it. Reagan does not want his student to suffer. That's amazing. Wow, this is really touching.
しくなるだけだ嫌な時はな逃げたっていいんだよ
Oh, Reagan's Mob's lights are back too. Master, it's called leader. Oh, Mob.
何の用だ坊主。
I love this. The episode started with a memory recall and Reagan coming out here to look for a mob. And now, towards the end of the episode, another memory recall. The genesis of their relationship. How they first met many moons ago. Wow. Amazing writing.
超能力者なんですけど、
は
自分の力をうまくいえ、誰にも相談できなくて、お兄さんも僕と同じかもって思ったんですけど。はい。
Wow, Reagan's non-judgment.
俺も
Very good.
若い頃はよく悩んだ。んいいか。超能力
Wow.
足が速い。勉強ができる。
It's the same sparkle in Mob's eyes. The same sparkles now, right before the memory recall. And this feeling heard, feeling seen, feeling understood as a human.
体臭が強いなどと一緒で。
Just like strong
個
body
性と
odor.
して受け入れて前向きに生きていくしかないんだ。
Wow. Kindness. Wow.
また相談に来てもいいですか？
Aww.
どうかな。俺も忙しいからな。とにかく今日は帰りなさい。幽霊も見える。
This is when the idea, inception of their business idea, huh?
もしかして除霊とかできる？よし。力の使い方を教えてやる。
He's not teaching Mob how to actually wield his superpower, but he's teaching him to use his humanity to anchor his power. So in that sense, yes, Reagan did not lie and did not deceive Mob. Reagan has been and is again right now concurrently teaching Mob how to wield his superpower or psychic power. Wow, that was amazing.
師匠！
Oh shit, did not see this coming.
師匠。
Oh no, 100%. What kind of cliffhanger is this? What kind of a cliffhanger is this? But also, RIP, Mr. Katana and everyone else, Mob just entered 100%. Yo, next episode's the season finale, right? Oh my goodness, dude. Wow, I cannot wait. Anyway, my main takeaway from this episode is much respect for Reagan, his moral principle, his willingness to risk his life for the sake of Mob, not living with the consequences of guilt and shame and self-hatred. I'm sure part of Reagan knew this was coming because he did that. He was having this wholesome dialogue in the middle of life and death match. And Reagan's very sharp. He's very sharp. That is a selfless, sacrificial love that Reagan demonstrated towards the end. But next episode, I'm sure we'll see Mob kick some asses. Not for the sake of murder, but for the sake of saving the people that he loves, which is an ongoing thesis. Anyway, y'all, thank you guys for tuning in. What an episode. I think this is my favorite episode in season 1 for obvious reasons. As always, thank you for being here. Until next time. Peace.